Welcome live from the Houston Rodeo here in Houston, Texas, where we talk about the meats, the sweets, and recovery. Welcome again to another episode of the 1% in Recovery podcast, where we encourage you to laugh every day. Work hard in recovery, work hard in your relationships, work hard in your business, job, school. Just work. And to love unconditionally, put much more love out there in the world and watch much more love return to you. Recovery is beautiful. Your EQ is your IQ, and you cannot outthink an emotional issue. We encourage you to go to the website, lifeiswonderful.love, download the free, I repeat, the free Recovery Growth Scorecard, where you get to introduce natural dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, oxytocin into your body. You get to start recovery on your own, which we all do anyway. But this is a smart way, what you need to do. So you start to detox, you start to change the neuroplasticity in your brain, start having those neural transmitters firing in the right way. Download the free Recovery Growth Scorecard at www.lifeiswonderful.love, L-O-V-E, in the show notes. Now, let's jump into this week's episode. We are talking about Houston, we're talking about rodeo, and we're talking about the 3 days prior to the 19-day rodeo and concerts. We're talking about the Houston Chili Cook-Off, the World Championship of Barbecue Championships, where they judge and crown the champion in brisket, in chicken, in ribs, and in oven dessert. Those four things also can be talked about recovery. And people who go to 12-step meetings, there is analogies. There is so much similarities. I am also a foodie. Besides someone that just loves recovery, talking about the steps, getting you to your best life. I am also about having that delicious meal, that delicious one item, whether that's an appetizer, a main course, a dessert, something savory, something sweet, just something delicious. And that is about food. And there's a lot of delicious food. And Houston, to me, is one of the grand capitals of food. We have all types of food here. But today, we are focused on the championship, about the meats, about the sweets. Now, what is the similarities? We have brisket, we have chicken, we have ribs, and we have dessert. Now, the brisket, that is the foundation of any barbecue joint in Texas. Brisket. Now, we're talking about brisket from a cow. And that's also about meetings, 12-step rooms. The foundation are the steps. You work the steps, you get to freedom and peace. You eat delicious brisket, then you truly enjoy and understand Texas barbecue. No utensils, no sauce, just some wax paper. Throw the meat on the wax paper, weigh it, pay it, eat it with your hands. And that's the same thing about recovery. You read the steps, you actually work the steps, and you get to the point where you're living the steps. It is the foundation. It's like bringing that meat, where it's just the meat and the fat. You're bringing all those savory juices and tastes. And if the meat can melt in your mouth, like it can, and I can just name you a few places to go in Texas. The one that has always hit national airways is Franklin Barbecue in Austin. But then you have, before that, the Muellers, Louis Mueller in Taylor, Texas. Or you have an 80-year-old woman, that throughout this whole Texas, where in Snow's Barbecue in Lexington, Texas, only barbecue on Saturdays. And then places like in Houston, where you go have Faggies, or Tejas and Tomball north of Houston, or you go up to Dallas and Pecan Lodge. Then you come down like last year, Burnt Bean and Seguin, which is just east of San Antonio, was #1 rated by Texas Monthly. And then you go to the capital of Texas barbecue, Lockhart, Texas, about 70 miles south of Austin. There you have Black's, Smitty's, Krutz's. That is where Texas barbecue was born. And you can go all around Texas. And I have been to, because I'm an aficionado of Texas barbecue. I love brisket, coleslaw, cobbler. But when we're talking about the meats, I'm just trying to give you just a background of the deliciousness of the meats and Texas barbecue. But it's also about understanding the steps. And the steps really get you to understand stopping your addiction, understanding your higher power and God, and then going through all the emotional stuff between inventories, your character, making amends. And then you get to the whole thing about daily living, about gratitude and appreciation, understanding your higher power better. And then you get to the service work and you have that spiritual awakening, spiritual experience. That is how you're just living the steps and you're just loving life. So not only do you stop your addiction, but you get total freedom from your addiction. The obsession leaves you. You actually recover. Past tense, recover. Never go back to the gambling or the drinking. That's me. No alcohol, no gambling. No alcohol for 28 years. No gambling for 25 years. Moving forward, accomplishing goals, living my life, being around people I love, people around people that inspire me, learning from people. That is the steps. That is brisket. And where we come to next? Chicken. What is chicken in terms of recovery? Chicken is that healthy piece, especially if it's smoked right. It just feels healthy. It feels right. And that's the same thing that happens in 12-step meetings. You start going to specific meetings that you get to. You start understanding, you start meeting all the people around you, whether you're talking about an open topic, you're talking about steps, you're talking about traditions, you're doing the 12 and 12, you're doing the big book, you're doing specific things. And that meeting, or wherever they meet, at a church, at a community center, at their own clubhouse, and you just feel that you have found family. That is chicken. Chicken just, if it is quality chicken, chickens that have been able to roam free, and they're just kind of plump, eating off a lot more grass. And that's the same thing with the meetings. You can get some really garbage meetings, just like garbage chicken, where the chickens are pretty much just staying in their cages and eating a bunch of grains, and all you're technically eating is corn, not chicken. Same thing with meetings. Some meetings can really be depressing. Some meetings can really mean go nowhere, and they don't uplift you. Like currently, I have a Spanish alcohol meeting that uplifts me. I have a gambling English meeting that uplifts me. It's at the same place. It's at a retreat center. It's called Holy Name Retreat Center. Those meetings uplift me. It's like the chicken. It's just healthy. It just gets me going. And that's what I want everybody to do. Find those meetings where you can flourish. You can learn. You can share. You can feel open, vulnerable. Talk about those sex things, those money things, those childhood things, those current relationships things with spouses or girlfriend, boyfriends, or with kids or your pets or whatever else you're dealing with. That is necessary. You've got to live with the chicken. You got to live with those meetings. And then what kind of ties things together? The ribs. If you ever had a good rib, the meat should be falling off the bone. And in recovery, to me, what ties things together are the traditions, the unity steps. Traditions in alcohol programs, unity steps in gambling programs. They're the same things, where you're talking about different steps and traditions, where they're talking about you don't want You want some type of unity. You want some type of supportive atmosphere. You don't want compulsive talkers. You want to have like some overseeing authority, which is some type of higher power, where there's a singleness of purpose, where there is this ability to just be open. And you're talking about things where it's just, when I say open is that you just have the people that are in the program running the meetings, running the organizations, and pretty much you're not talking about outside issues. And then you're getting into the final piece, principles over personalities, where you really understand anonymity. And you understand that you protect someone's journey. Some people are much more, I'm very open, I'm here on social media, podcast. Everybody knows my story, everybody around me. There are no secrets with me. But I've also had a lot more time, a lot of therapy, a lot of step work, just being comfortable in my own skin and what has happened to me. I own my own story. That's the same thing about the ribs. Just ribs kind of can tie a barbecue plate together. You can have your brisket, you can have your sausage, you can have certain sides. I'm more of a coleslaw, green beans. Other people are potato salad, jambalaya, baked beans types of people. But the ribs tied together, no different than in biblical terms where they talk about the woman comes from a man's rib. The rib really is that structure, that ability to tie things together. And then of course, finally, you have the desserts, the sweetness, the love. And to me, the sweetness of recovery is the fellowship, is all the wonderful people trying to just live better, live differently, no longer with the alcohol, drugs, gambling, that they are inappropriate sex, shopping, video games. They are actually part of that sweetness. The reason you love going to meetings and seeing people, hugging people, catching up. Hey, what's going on with your relationship? Where are you traveling to? What's going on with business? All that, that's that sweetness. I'm a big pie and cobbler guy, but if you go to the championship here in Houston, the cheesecakes usually take top prize, the blue ribbon. It's not for me. I'm more of a fruit. I love fruits. That's why I love a peach cobbler, blackberry cobbler, cherry cobbler, also different pies like a key lime pie, and of course, a lemon meringue pie. And you get into all those fruit pies and fruit cobblers. That to me is the essence of the fellowship. All the wonderful sweet flavors that come into your life, and then you can get phone calls, texts, video calls, constantly people calling, texting. Either I'm initiating, I'm receiving. My phone directory is extensive because I speak English, I speak Spanish, I talk to a lot of alcoholics, I talk to a lot of gamblers, all in recovery. They all know me. They either want to ask questions or they want to find out what's going on in my life, vice versa. I just want to know what's going on in their life. And it just feels it's just part of my family, different than my own family of origin, but it is my family. These are my recovery family. And I got other families, but these are very important to me. My gamblers, my alcoholics, no different than my high school buddies or my business school network. All very important to me. So what I want you to really understand and take away from this episode is that you can come to Houston at the end of February, beginning of March. Enjoy the Houston Rodeo. Enjoy the barbecue championships. Enjoy the carnival. Enjoy carnival foods like corn dogs and funnel cakes. Enjoy the rodeo and all the different events. It's not just bull riding and saddle bronc riding or steer wrestling. There's things with high school students. There's things with little 5-year-old kids. The mutton rides. That's little kids riding sheep. That's a trend. The chuck wagon races, and then all the musical acts where we're talking about not just country. We're talking about Tejana. We're talking about rap, rock and roll, soft rock, gospel. There are so many different acts available and out there, so it hits all different demographics. Come down here during those 19 days, and on top of that, we have 80 degrees here at the end of February. Unlike places right now in the Northeast that were under not just 1 or 2 inches, feet of snow, barreling down, just being buried in all that, losing power, freezing. I get it. No way that you want to spend days. Come down here, great time. Humidity is at a limit, so you can be walking around how you want to work out, wear your favorite jeans, denim, leather, just looking cool, eating right, enjoying life, enjoying being a part of Texan even for one weekend. With that, I welcome you here to the Houston Rodeo. I welcome you to Houston. And of course, I encourage and push you into recovery. You deserve recovery. You deserve a better life. You deserve to be free from your addictions. You just deserve to have the life that you want and that you want to just live and love. With that, we're going to conclude this episode of the 1% in Recovery podcast.